All right, so this might be easier to explain on video rather than on a text. Okay, this is our board for their feed. As you can see, we have the 3 triplets, we have their last feed, we have their current feed, we have the amount taken, their supplements, and we also have a spot for their appointments or notes, appointments for our toddler, blah, blah, blah. So using this kind of system is not for the weak in the sense that you're going to have to do a lot of thinking and be adaptable and be dynamic. Obviously, you should try to stick as much as you can to the 3-hour window, as best as you can, understanding that life happens. Obviously, you don't want to just be feeding them whenever. You want to have the rubric of every 3 hours, understanding that life happens and you're going to have to be adaptable and you're going to have to be dynamic and you're going to have to understand each baby and the strengths and weaknesses of each baby. Some babies eat more, some babies eat less, some babies can go longer without feeding, some babies can go only 2 hours without feeding. But you generally want to have your every 3-hour window to shoot for: 8, 11, 2, 5, 9, 12, 3, 6, around the clock. But you got to be adaptable. There are some times where you can hand feed them and you feed them 8:30. This is supposed to be 9, but stuff happens. It takes them half an hour to get through a feed and a change. And so you can go from 8:30 to 10 essentially. If you have time for that, that's great. There are some times, maybe throughout the night, where you're going to feed them all at the same time. Even if there's just one person, how do you feed them all at the same time? You find a way. You figure it out. Okay, so here we switch from feeding them to one at a time to all at the same time because they all woke at the same time, or maybe we needed to feed them at the same time for reasons of our own personal life. And you could see that at 12:30, our next feed estimated is going to be 3:30, so that gives us a heads up that the next time we're going to have to feed them, that they're going to be waking up, is around 3:30. We kind of let them wake up and decide when they want to eat, and we roll with the punches. So say that Ray is our big guy, and he's wanting to wake up at 2:30. Okay, so he wants to wake up at 2:30, and he gets fed, and then we're going to wake Leandro. Let's say Leandro starts waking up at 3. We might wake him up at 3 if he's not already awake, since he's the next biggest feeder. And then Amaya will be right on time at 3:30. So we'll do the staggered feed again. Again, this is a lot for a lot of people. They just like to have the 8, 11, 2, 5, so that way they don't really have to think about it. The truth is that feeding triplets is a lot more complicated than that, especially when they start cluster feeding. Some babies eat more, some babies eat less. It's all very complicated to begin with. So chances are you're going to be staying at home for a while anyway, so you're not going to go anywhere. So it doesn't really matter when you feed them. They got to get fed anyway. So, but you got to be adaptable. Try to stick to the 3-hour schedule, but it's okay. Things get out of order. But yeah, try to stick every 3 hours. They got to eat anyway, so try to feed them whatever suits you best.